In step 4, you need to reinforce and remind your team of the problem, the vision, expectations, communication, and consequences. In the change journey, team members will sometimes forget why they are on the journey in the first place. And you need to find the opportunity when it's appropriate to remind them of the problems that was discussed and the case for change. Sometimes your team needs to be reminded of the destination that they are on and why they are heading there. They sometimes need to be reminded of the progress that has been made and how much closer they are to the destination. This gives the team hope for the future. And hope can be a powerful motivator. Until new patterns of behavior are established, everyone, including yourself, will need to be regularly reminded of the expected behaviors in the new team culture and in the new ways of working. Take the opportunity to regularly remind your team of the expectations in the new team culture as well as in the new ways of working. You can also use this opportunity to cite specific examples of desired behavior as displayed by certain team members and certain undesired behaviors. Where appropriate, take the opportunity to talk about the problems, the vision, the expectations, and the consequences in the right situation, whether that is in one-on-one, team meetings, or even in town halls in your organization. In order to continuously reinforce new ways of working and the new behaviors expected, you need to reward team members who are displaying those behaviors. At the same time, you need to be there to support team members who may need some additional training or coaching or mentoring in order to bring about the change in their own journey. And there's really no room for toxic behavior or undesired ways of thinking in this new team culture. Where you see them appear in team members, you need to quickly have one-on-one conversations privately about those undesired behaviors and correct them. The thing with culture change, when it comes to reinforcing it, is consistency. You need to find and continuously find the opportunities to talk about the problems, the vision, communicate expectations, and what are the consequences. One of the biggest challenges and the reasons for culture change not succeeding is that many team members are jaded about past culture changes where there has been a lack of consistency. Therefore, you yourself as the leader of the team need to be disciplined in terms of reinforcing expectations and the new ways of working in order to give your culture change the highest chance of success. This step is probably the most important step of all the 5 steps. As the leader of the team, your words, actions, and decisions will have a significant impact on your team. You need to ask yourself if you truly want this change to happen for your team. If so, you need to be reflecting the desired behaviors that's expected for your team. Basically, you need to be serious about the change that you want to take place. When your team sees that you are upholding the standard that's expected for everyone, they will naturally rise to the standard that's required. The challenge for you as the leader of the team is that you yourself must truly want this change to happen and not carrying out change for the sake of change alone. Your desire for change will be reflected in your words, actions, and decisions, and your team will be watching you. The culture of the team starts and ends with you, the leader. So if you're truly serious about this culture change, then you need to take 100% ownership and start being the role model that your team needs to look up to. You set the expectations and your team will follow. And when you do that, when your team sees that your words, actions, and decisions are displaying the expectations required of them, then you will have the moral authority to get your team to carry out the change. So let's go through the 5 steps where, as the leader of your team, you want to bring about culture change. Step 1, identify the problem by working with your team to build a case for change. The more problems you and your team can identify, the bigger and stronger the case for change will be. Step 2, co-create the vision with your team so that they can get involved in creating what this new team culture is going to look like. The more of their own ideas that they're able to implement in this vision, the more likely they are to be inspired and motivated to make the changes. Step 3, get inputs to buy in. The change journey is going to be difficult. So make sure that you keep communication channels open to receive feedback and input from your team so that you can address them early on before they become issues down the road. Step 4, reinforcement. When the opportunity is right, regularly remind your team of the problems. For the case of change, the vision and the destination, the expectations is required of everyone, including yourself, and the consequences for meeting those expectations and not meeting them. Step 5. As the leader, you need to set the example and be a role model for everyone. Your team is observing your words, actions, and decisions, and they will realize that when you are meeting the expectations and setting the bar, then everyone in your team is going to rise to meet those same expectations as well. These 5 steps give you a very structured approach on how you can transform your team culture as the leader of the team. Regardless of the size of the culture change that you want to make happen, you need to go through these 5 steps. The culture of the team isn't so much determined by you, even though you play a significant impact on it. It's also determined by your team and the ways of working between you and them. You need your team to make the culture change successful. And so you definitely need to influence your team so that they can feel deep down inside that there is a real need for change and that they can work towards the destination that has been agreed upon. Throughout the 5 steps, a very important piece is you as the leader. Your enthusiasm, whether that's identifying the problems, casting the vision, getting your team's buy-in, or reinforcing new ways of working. Just as you are expecting your team to help you to carry out the transformation and to uphold the expectations of the new ways of working in the new team culture, your team is also looking at you to ensure that you are doing your part to set the standard and to uphold it. Simply put, when you are setting the standard and your team knows that you are doing so, then they will also rise up to meet the new standard that's required. When you lead by example, your team will follow. If you enjoyed this video so far, really appreciate if you give me the thumbs up. It helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. And if you have yet to subscribe to First Time Leadership, do click on that subscribe button to be notified of when new videos come out to help you with your leadership journey. And lastly, if you have any comments about what I've shared in this video, do share a comment below. So you may have seen that I've listed a couple of leadership traits throughout this video. I've found that those leadership traits are very useful with regards to the 5 steps to changing your team culture. Now, those leadership traits are actually from my first-time leadership research, where I have identified 30 traits to help anyone to be a successful leader. If you are interested to find out more about those leadership traits that were mentioned, or the 30 principles, there's a link in the description below. Just click on it. So that's pretty much it. I hope you found the 5 steps to transforming your team culture useful, especially if you are a team leader. Let me know how it goes in the comments below. In any case, my name is Daniel Lee from First Time Leadership. I look forward to speaking with you soon.